From King J, had the CBA not changed before free agency, do you believe things would have played out differently, retaining someone like Byron Jones with the extra tag that wouldn't have been available? Great question. The Cowboys weren't going to pay Byron the franchise tag cost for the cornerback spot. So I don't think it would have changed Byron. What might have happened, maybe Amari Cooper doesn't get his deal done. Now, the way that the tags work out is they would have allowed Cooper to still talk with teams, but maybe that would have gone down differently instead. So it's tough to know for certain, but I think the Cowboys would have liked to have had that second tag. Jerry Jones said as much, but he wanted to do what was right for the NFL. From Akil coming in here, is Michael Gallup the best number 2 receiver in the league? Definitely in his draft class. I also think he is the best in his class. We can't re-sign LVE and Gallup. Who would you choose? Please put this on live. Once again, people asking to be put on live sometimes makes it easier for producer Alicia to do it. I don't think he's the best number 2 receiver in the NFL because you got to pick one of Chris Godwin and Mike Evans as the number 2 for the Bucs. So both of those guys better than Michael Gallup. If the cap significantly jumps, you actually might be able to re-sign both Van Der Esch and Michael Gallup. In terms of who I would choose, even with Amari Cooper signed to big money and CeeDee Lamb drafted, probably going to take Gallup because I feel a lot more confident in him living up to a big deal than Van Der Esch coming off a neck injury. But that could change in a year. We'll find out. From Fat Sushi Man, do you think CeeDee will hit 1,000 yards? I don't really think that's a fair goal for CeeDee Lamb. Like, if he were on a different team, maybe. There are some other mouths to feed, though, between Amari Cooper, between Michael Gallup and Zeke Elliott. If I can get 800 out of CeeDee Lamb in year 1, I'm feeling pretty unhappy. At some point, yeah, he'll be a 1,000-yard receiver. Just maybe not in year 1 because it'll take him some time to earn those reps over or alongside truly Cooper and Gallup in the same way that Cobb was truly the number 3 receiver. So it'll happen, but he's not going to usurp Cooper or Gallup at least early on in the year. So which receiver are you guys more excited to watch? Type L for Lamb, C for Cooper, G for Gallup. I see a lot of L's coming in, and I understand that because Lamb is the shiny new toy. We know what Cooper can do. We know what Gallup can do. Lamb's different. Lamb is the fun new option for Dak Prescott, so I see why the L's are winning. Super chat coming in now from Darius Woods. I assume by any P, you mean any punters in free agency. I saw several of you asking for Marquette King. If Marquette King doesn't want to cause locker room issues this time around in terms of the NFL, sure. I am a little surprised and perplexed the Cowboys haven't brought in any competition at the punter spot. The Jets had a guy, Lack Edwards, who was unsigned. One of the Colquitts is unsigned right now, too. You can find somebody cheap. I'm just surprised that the Cowboys haven't pursued it whatsoever. Destroyer Dog, do the Cowboys need a new center? I mean, yeah, because Frederick retired. So in terms of replacing Frederick, yes. In terms of if they are already on the roster, the answer is also yes. It'll be Joe Looney, or it'll be a Connor McGovern, or it'll be a Tyler Biadasz. So it'll be one of those 3 guys. Maybe Biadasz by the end of the year. The abbreviated offseason probably favors Joe Looney in terms of winning that starting center job. So yeah, there will be a new center for the Cowboys. I don't think they're going to go out and add anybody right now unless there's injury. They have enough options in the end. From Miguel Rodriguez, would you still go after Everson Griffen if Gregory gets reinstated? It's an interesting question, Miguel. No, he also threw in hashtag Black Lives Matter. I would consider it because Smith and Gregory, until we see what they look like in training camp and in the preseason, I still think that the Cowboys are going to just try and roll with Gregory and roll with Smith. I would explore it. That's not the vibe that the Cowboys have given out so far in terms of having any interest in Everson Griffen. So I would do it, yeah. I don't think the Cowboys will, though. From Nolan, if we have the number 1 seed locked in entering Week 17, does Dalton or DiNucci start? Great question. At that point, if everything's locked up, there's no reason for Dak to play Week 17. All you're doing is risk an injury at that point. And, undefeated season is not on the table. I think that it'd be Dalton, mostly because there's no guaranteed Danucci's on the roster. 13-3 would be awesome. It's a bit of a high expectation for the Cowboys coming off an 8-8 season and a pretty tricky schedule throughout this year. Speaking of quarterbacks, who's the better better NFL quarterback, Is it the Cowboys' Dak Prescott type DP, or is it CW for Carson Wentz? Get your votes in here in the comment section. Now, I think as we go through this, if everyone's healthy, we can do this every single year from now till, let's just say, 2025. The answer would probably change in terms of who the better quarterback is. I'm going to go with DP right now. If Wentz stays healthy for a season, maybe it's Carson Wentz next year. But right now, and for the totality of their NFL career, very slightly, I'll go Dak Prescott. From Z Cowboy Football, if the Cowboys can't sign Dak Prescott to a long-term deal, does that mean you should have kept Tony Romo because it's looking that way? You got producer Alicia laughing here. Thanks for your super chat. The answer is no, because Tony Romo's 40, and his body could not hold up. The decision on Romo had to be made based on that 2016 season. If you can't get Dak Prescott signed to a long-term deal, doesn't matter about Tony Romo. That means you failed in your negotiating process and you messed up that. If you had kept Tony Romo, guys, he would have gotten hurt again. That's what would have happened. I loved Romo. I remember people slandering Tony Romo. I remember that. I lived through that. But the problem with Romo is that his body failed him. He broke down. He couldn't stay healthy anymore. Not re-signing Dak doesn't have any impact on the right or wrong decision with Tony Romo in the end. Now, speaking of Dak, by the way, and as producer Alicia says, Tony Romo also a dad. It is Father's Day coming up here. So don't get your dad a crappy tie. Don't not get him anything either. Get him an awesome Cowboys jersey. Now, I will let this slip. I don't know if this is sacrilegious or not, but my dad's a Bengals fan because he's from Cincinnati. So I got my eye on a Joe Burrow jersey for him. But for you guys with Cowboys fans who are that are your dads out there, head over to chatsports.com/Cowboys jersey. 25% off. Get it now. And then on Father's Day, let your dad know, hey, I got you a Cowboys jersey. They got Dak. They got Jalen Smith. They got all kinds of players. And that link, by the way, will be in the comments and the description. It's chatsports.com/Cowboys jersey. So get your dad something nice this Father's Day. From Nabat, what's the best option in free agency for the Cowboys? I would pursue Punter, which is weird. How about a strong safety who can double as like a linebacker, like an Eric Reed type of player is something I would have interest in. Not sure the Cowboys really want to do that. Super chat coming in from Corey Firm, and then Alicia, don't you dare skip that other one either. I saw it. I saw you throw it up in there. Okay, Corey was first, so we'll go to Corey. How many stars for Romo as future head coach for the Cowboys or coordinator? One at most. The problem here is that, A, Romo's never coached. So I don't know if you want to hire somebody in that capacity who's never done it before. And then on top of that, Tony Romo makes bank calling football games for a living. Everyone loves him, and he gets to skip a week a year to go play in a golf tournament. Like, Romo has the life right now. He doesn't want to come be head coach of the Cowboys because why would you take a job that is going to be, frankly, probably less rewarding for less money, more stress, and more hours? That doesn't make a lot of sense. So I will not lie that I am surprised that in the middle of June we have a Tony Romo head coach question. I know that Jerry Jones loves him. That will certainly never change, but it just doesn't make sense, frankly, for either party involved here. I remember the calls to make Romo in the past, especially once he first started broadcasting. But Romo remembers how some of the fan base treated him. So don't get your hopes up there. Enjoy having Tony Romo instead of Booger McFarland on CBS Sports broadcasts. How about that? We have been infiltrated by an Eagles fan on today's show with a $2 super chat. Fly, Eagles, fly. 2021 Super Bowl champs we are. So, two things. Number one, I want you guys to just drown out Philly Notion by typing in Cowboys. And second thought, Philly Notion, if you give us money every show, you can keep hanging out. I truly don't know why you would donate money in an attempt to troll. That kind of feels like a waste for you. But you know what, Philly Notion? I appreciate it. Thank you for the super chat. So everyone in the comments section, you guys are already doing it. Spam it, not spot it there. Hey, look, we try and do graphics on the fly sometimes. It happens. It's all good. Keep the just Cowboys coming as we had an Eagles fan find a way to infiltrate the chat here. He was in pretty early. Wonder if we got some Eagles fans subscribe to us here on the Cowboys Report. It's fascinating. Very fascinating. So again, you guys know the drill. Hashtag Cowboys or super chat to get on the show. From Nighthawk MD, also saying, please put this live. Do you think making more cap space means Dallas might make a move for a free agency or trade? The Frederick move to add $7 million in cap space is in no way indicative of something coming for the Cowboys. This has always been their plan, was to get the extra money right now. If there's no negativity or there's no negative side of waiting to get the salary cap space. Like, you get $7 million now at no negative cost in the long run. It's the same amount of money in the end. Just depends on when you get it. And even if the Cowboys don't spend that $7 million, they just roll it over next year. So it was more of a, well, we might as well have it and not need it than need it and not have it in terms of the cap space. From Troy Daniels, how long would training camp last with the abbreviated offseason? Great question. At this point, don't know. Normally, camp is in mid-July. The Hall of Fame game this year is August 6th between the Cowboys and the Steelers. I think the NFL desperately, and the NFLPA, frankly, too, desperately wants a full training camp length. The off-season program stuff, OTAs, have already been more or less canceled. It's not the same thing as what things normally are. So I think they'd want the full normal training camp length. We'll see if that actually ends up happening. I don't think they want to delay it any further because then you start running into timing of getting the season on time, the preseason on time. I don't know if they're going to play all 4 preseason games. We'll wait and see. But I think they're going to try and go for a full-length training camp. America's team, which rookie on the Cowboys besides Lamb will make an impact? The one that continues to jump out to me as the obvious answer is Trevon Diggs. He has the best chance to making that big-time impact in year one because the Cowboys could use a long-term number 1 corner. Maybe Diggs can emerge as that guy. So you can let me know who you think has the bigger impact on the Cowboys in 2020. Type CD for CeeDee Lamb and TD, which is a great nickname, by the way, for Trevon Diggs. I'm still going to go with CD, but I think Diggs is the obvious number 2 answer. King J says Michael Bennett over Crawford as far as cost, leadership, and play on the field. I think a return makes sense. He can play every position on the line. I agree on cost. I am not sure I agree on leadership. Crawford has been a good locker room guy for that team, even though he's not maybe the same vocal guy that Michael Bennett is. Play on the field, yeah, definitely Michael Bennett there as well. I don't know if Bennett plans to play this year. He had kind of hinted and thrown around the idea of possibly retiring. He's certainly versatile, but so is Tyrone Crawford. The Cowboys, I think, like the comfort and the flexibility that Crawford brings, and Crawford has certainly been more willing than Bennett to play on the interior and even play that 5 technique role, which Bennett did not like in New England. So I totally get where you're coming from, King J. I think there's a strong argument there. I think the Cowboys would prefer to roll with Crawford. From Carlos talking trade here, do you see the Cowboys trading for both Jamal Adams and Patrick Peterson? It is wildly more likely you get none of those guys than you come close to getting both of them. No, I don't think the Cowboys would do it because you'd be sacrificing pretty much the entirety of your 2020 draft and then making Jamal Adams close to or is the highest paid safety in the NFL. And then the same is true with Patrick Peterson at the cornerback spot. Now, as for the Jamal Adams side of it, nothing has changed. Nothing has changed in quite a while. Nothing probably will change for a little bit. So if you have everything, if you want to find out everything you need to know about the Jamal Adams trade, the cost of an extension, what a trade might look like, how Dak is impacted by all of this, it's in the description. It's on the channel. It is the Jamal Adams trade to the Cowboys. Everything you need to know about it. And if things change, then we'll update. But for now, there you go. From Alan Williams, hashtag Cowboys. Do you think it's a good idea to move Cheeto to safety or keep him at cornerback 1 and hope the new defensive backs coach Al Harris coaches him to seek the ball besides play the receiver too much? Well, don't forget that Al Harris is kind of more of the assistant defensive backs coach. Maurice Linguist is going to be heavily involved there, but Harris will, of course, have an impact. I'm going to keep him at corner because if I take away Awuzie, who I know I can at least have as a number 2 option, not ideal, but maybe he gets better under the new staff that will result in more turnovers, and we know that he's sticky in coverage, just can't get his head around. Like, Awuzie to safety, I think he becomes safety 3 behind Xavier Woods and behind Clinton Dix. I'm trying to get my best 5 defensive backs on the field. I think Awuzie is one of those guys. As we sit right now, that might change, depending on how Diggs in particular fares. But I don't think that I want 3 of safeties between Awuzie, Clinton Dix, and Woods. And those last 2 guys got to play safety. So I'm going to keep him at corner for now unless some of those young guys really, really impress. Hey Cowboys fans, thanks for watching the Cowboys Report. If you haven't already, click right here to subscribe to our channel for all the best Cowboys coverage on the internet. That's news, rumors, highlights, mailbags, film studies, and a whole lot more. And I'm making your lives a little bit easier as well with the next Cowboys Report video right here.